Okay, what's coming in the post today? Let's have a quick look. Oh, right, okay, what is this? What is this? It's well packaged. Oh, I think this is a TV board. Yeah. So we have a Panasonic, I can't remember the number now, TX EV 700, something like that. And it, well, the cats destroyed it because they knocked a load of water over the back of it, and then it stopped producing. It was power on and then power off, and it kept saying that the 3.3 volt was wrong. There's 7 red LEDs that flash. So someone was selling us on eBay, says it's says it's tested. I mean, you never know. I will try and fit this and see what it does. First thing I've got to do is to check that it's compatible. Smells okay. Like I said, the little light comes on. I didn't even know there was little buttons here to turn it on and off here. Now, because this is the power board, it's not as bad as the main board. If the main board changes, then you'll lose all your encoded TV programs unless you do something special for it, yeah? So what I'll do is I'll whip this out and see if it works. But in the first instance, that's the unboxing of the part. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Okay, so I've taken the edge screws out first. These are the tiny ones like this. The bigger gold ones there, or goldy colour, whatever they are, come from these slots here. That's for the stand to go in. And then there's one there, one there, one there, one there. That's for the Visa mounts. The smaller screws more or less go on the outside, those ones there. These other ones here are in this back plane here. You can see there's like little holes there that accept them. And then there's 6 larger ones that are in, I think it's like there and there and there. So they're in these sort of things here, but there's a smaller one in the middle there. So I don't know if that's enough to get the back off. Let's see. I put a bit of protective matting on the floor because, I mean, it's basically broken, but I don't want to break it even more. Right, you've got to be careful with this power here. It's not plugged in. If I'll just take that off now, because that's holding the power supply to the board in. And if you just try and yank it off, you've got to undo the tension. It will get caught, and then you'll be in a bad way, yeah? Oh my God, that's tight. Let me just get that out with this screwdriver. So you see what I mean? It's got to undo that off there. Now then, this is the business end. This right hand side, as I look at it, is what they call the hot end. So there's a line on the board you'll see in a moment, and that's where it's lower voltage. But you know, there could be capacitors in there that could hold some charge and give you a bit of a shock. Don't grab it, always touch it, and then you'll go that way. Have someone around you in the house. My kid's upstairs, just in case there's a problem. And just be careful. Oh, there's another screw there. I didn't see that one. It's got to come out. That was one of the longer ones. So that's coming off there. That's coming off there. Yep. That's coming off there. I need another pair of hands. Okay. What's happening here? Yep, that's it. That's it. You see what I mean about the strain? So let's get that out of the way there. And this thing is so big. I mean, I'm a 6-footer and it's really difficult when you hold that like that. Pull that cable through there. Okay, so let's take that through there for the moment. Still in its original cellophane, yeah? So the symptom is you get the 7 red LEDs, put this over here, and then it will power on for a while and then it won't power. What happened was the cats had sort of knocked some water. My wife liked to leave water behind on the windowsill, and they obviously got a bit frisky and excited and knocked it over. So my suspicion is that this power board, I've just got one off eBay. Okay, so looking at the boards, they look pretty similar. There's a slightly different number on here, but I guess that's some sort of serial number. I don't know if this is something to do with the encryption on it. So maybe even if it works, my TV might not work. But the important thing is this number here is the same. Yeah, so it should be the same part. It looks like we've got to clip these things off here. Undo the screws, of course. This is what I was saying. This little white line here inside this side, this is the hot end. You be careful there, transformers and capacitors and shit like that. This side is the low voltage side, and it was saying that it was getting sub 3.3 volt, yeah. This thing's just as loose here as it was on the other one, so that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'll unclip the power lead. I'll check for continuity to make certain that that isn't loose in the first instance, and it's not like, you know, suddenly getting loose. That could happen. And then I'll try and put the board in, so let's give it a go. Taking the 7 screws out, now it's a case of taking this bit out here. It looks like it's that lift up that little thing there. I don't know if I can do that. It's really hard. Careful. I did it off camera, sorry. Okay, now I'll do it on camera. What you do is you push that bit down there. So you see this little, you push down and then it comes off. So that's the easy way of doing it, okay? So let me just check that for voltage. Yeah, excuse my fingers here, it's going to be in the way of the lens. So I'm going to touch that lead in there, that's on the brown. And normally the brown is the bottom right. Why is it so? There. So the brown's touching and the blue's touching. So we've got continuity from the plug. Let's put this board in. I mean, ideally I'd put it on a bench and test it first, but I mean, hell, if it blows the telly up, then as long as it doesn't burn the house down, I'm not too worried because it's broken anyway. So let me get on with that. So the way I found to get them out, these little things here push in. Yeah, so you push them in carefully and pull it back. You don't want to put any strain on the wires. So that one's off, that one's off, that's off, then theoretically this will lift out, and it does. Now, still be careful, there might be something live on here, so I'll throw it back in the box. There we are. Bit of dust, I'll give that a clean. Yeah, it seems to be some sort of anti-static mat. So it went in like this. Like that. Like that. Let's offer it up into about the right place. There's a screw. Oh, it sort of seats in. That's quite nice. Yep, so I've got to put the 6 screws in. 6 screws, well, they're in the pot, put them in a separate pot. I'll put those screws in and then I will put those cables in. I mean, to be fair, I don't have a service manual, otherwise I'd be able to work out what's supposed to supply the voltage, but I've got to assume that this works. You know, it could be any of these caps that went or anything, old age, who knows. But I'll just assume it because I've got nothing to lose, the thing's broken anyway, so yeah, let's give it a go. Okay, so that's the part put in there. The next thing to do is to put the strain relief back on, and what I'll probably do is I'll test it in situ without the back on, for the simple reason that if it's not working, I don't see the point of carrying much more with it. I mean, I could. Boards are fairly cheap for these things second hand, but you just don't know the pedigree, so I don't understand much. But that's the power board, those are the speakers, that's the IR unit down there. I mean, that could be going wrong and sending on off, but I don't think so. This, I think, is the main board. I mean, somewhere there is a processor on here, so it might be possible to power it up remotely and get a little basic Linux processor out of it. I don't know what this thing is. Is that the card readers? I see things like VL or VDLS board or whatever. I don't know what it is. You probably say, right, and then of course the panel's okay. So I've seen some people where they've got the panel smashed and the rest okay. So I could put in a bid for an £80 telly and swap the back things over. That would be the other possibility. Or I could just psych up and buy another telly. I got this a few years ago. My company should have paid for it. I got a bonus and I paid for it, and it was to allow me to have multiple monitors, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And I could do a lot of great work upgrading a system and monitoring all of the different old system, new system, and troubleshoot really quickly. That was the plan. I got my use out of it. You can't get too sentimental about electronic equipment. It's not ChatGPT, so it doesn't have a soul. I put the screw back there because that's the biggest place that might kill you. Now these little bits here, you have to be careful to make certain they go into their mounts. But what I'm going to do is just plug it into the socket. And then I'll move it over this way a bit so that I've got some space to reach it. Got the fire extinguisher ready, and then I'll put it up in the air and see what happens when I power it on. Okay, let's be brave. Powered it on. There's a green light. And it normally like flashes on and off a few times. And then what happens is it will turn on. Well, I haven't put anything in to test it. Okay, well it's switched on. That's something. What normally happens is after about, depending on what you're doing, it can be a few seconds to minutes, it will then go through a red light and turn off. I don't know what it's done yet. What I do now is I'm going to plug in a USB to the back because there's no signal here. Let's give that a test. So when I come to do this test, I don't believe that well, that might have just switched off. I've just stopped, yeah. Let's give it a look. There's a little thing there. Switch it on. I don't believe it's got the encoder on it so that it will say, oh, that's from a different system, because all I've done is change the power board, yeah. No signal yet. Go to the home button. Okay, home button. Okay, go to devices, and it should say there's a USB. Oh, that's interesting. Look, so before that was a different, let's see, it might be that it's been like somehow, yeah, look, that's a bit mean, and then it switched off and power again. So it's doing the same sort of thing, the 7 links. As it gets a bit closer and see if I can find it, yeah. So it's probably 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's probably not the power board. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So something else is causing the fault. Oh well, it was worth a go. I'll probably put this video up just as it didn't work. The board itself, I think including postage, was only a few quid, less than £10. So it wasn't, the only thing I've wasted is my time, yeah, and your time if you watch this. But okay, that doesn't fix it. So okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye. Actually, I did something different, guys. So what I did was, I noticed that USB device was a bit weird, so I took it out and plugged it in the other socket. Seems to be working.